In this video, I will take you through the process of factorizing quadratic expressions, but I've done another video on factorization by grouping. So for you to easily understand this concept, you have to watch that video on factorization by grouping. Right, let's move on to our first example. Right, this is our first example. Factorize x squared plus 8x plus 12 completely. Right, if you look at this one, we can't factorize it by grouping, because if we group the first two, we'll remain with the 12 alone, nothing to group 12 with. Or if we group the last two, we remain with x alone, nothing to group x squared with. So we can't factorize this one by grouping directly like this, as it is like this. So what we have to do is we have to come up with a fourth term. We have three terms here. We want a fourth term, and that fourth term, we find it this way. We rewrite this expression as it is. Right, then we drop the term in x squared as it is. We do nothing to this term in x squared. So just drop this x squared as it is, like this. Right, we also drop the constant as it is. We do nothing to the constant. The constant in this case is 12, the term that is independent of x. So we are saying we also drop this 12 as it is, like this. Then from there, we now want to express this 8x as a sum of two terms. And those two terms plus these two terms that we already have will take us to 4 terms. So let's find the terms that we will express this 8 in terms of. Right, we do it this way. We multiply the term in x squared and a constant like this. So we are multiplying x squared and 12, and we get 12x squared. Right, we now look for the two factors of 12x squared. The two factors of 12x squared, whose sum is 8x. The sum must be 8x. The product is 12x squared. And those two terms are 6x and 2x, like this. Right. Now that we have two terms, here we have added 6x and 2x. And if we add 2x and 6x, we get this 12x. If we multiply these two, we get 12x squared. Right, now we now have 4 terms, so we can now factorize by grouping. Let's group the first two. Right, the highest common factor here is x, so you can take out x to remain with x plus 6 in the brackets. At the same time, the highest common factor here is 2, so if we take out 2, we remain with x plus 6 in the brackets as well, so we remain with something like this. Right, then the next thing is to factor out the highest common factor. We now have the new highest common factor, which is x plus 6. This is the new highest common factor. So let's take out x plus 6. We remain with x plus 2. Right, so we are going to take out x plus 6. We remain with x plus 2 like this. So we've factorized this one completely. Right, let's move on to our next example. Factorize 6x squared minus 5x plus 1 completely. Right, as usual, let's rewrite this expression as it is. Then as usual, let's drop this 6x squared as it is, like this. Then this constant, we drop the term in x squared and a constant. So we are also now dropping this constant 1 like this. Then after that, we are now expressing this minus 5x as a sum of two terms. And those two terms, we find them this way. We multiply this term in x squared by a constant. And the constant in this case is 1. So we are multiplying 1 by 6x squared, and we get 6x squared. Right, so we are now looking for the factors of 6x squared, whose sum is minus 5x, and the terms are minus 3 and minus 2x. Right, if we multiply minus 2x and minus 3x, we will definitely get 6x squared. At the same time, if we add minus 3x and minus 2x, we will definitely get minus 5x. Right, now that the conditions are satisfied, we can now factorize by grouping. If we group the first two, the highest common factor there is 3x, so let's take out 3x, we remain with 2x minus 1. Right, in this case the highest common factor is 1, but we want the expression that will appear in the brackets to be the same as the expression in the first bracket, so we're going to take out minus 1. So if we take out minus 1, we get 2x minus 1 in the bracket like this. Right, then from there we can now factorize further. This one is now a common factor, 2x minus 1, so let's take it out. We remain with 3x minus 1 in the bracket as well, like this. So we have factorized completely. Right, let's move on to our third example. Factorize x squared minus x minus 12 completely. Right, in this case I won't show all those other steps that I've been showing in example 1 and 3. I'll just find the factors here. So I'll just multiply this x squared by minus 12. I get minus 12x squared. I look for the factors of minus 12x squared, whose sum is minus x, and the factors are minus 4x and 3x. So I will write, instead of writing this minus x here, I will just write minus 4x plus 3x like this. And likewise, I'm now factorizing by grouping the first two. I'll group the first two, then the last two on their own. Right, the first two, the highest common factor is x there. If I take out x, I'll remain with x minus 4. The last two, the highest common factor is 3 there. If I take out 3, I'll remain with x minus 4, so, like this. So the highest common factor now is now x minus 4 like this. So I am now taking out x minus 4 and I remain with x plus 3. Need to be like this, and I have factorized completely. Right, let's move on to our last example, the fourth one. Want to factorize this one. Likewise, we are going to look for the factors. If we multiply 21 by 2x squared, we get 42x squared, and we are now looking for the factors of 42x squared. The factors of 42x squared, whose sum is minus 17, and those factors are minus 14x and minus 3x like this. Then by factorization by grouping here, we can now group the two. If we group the first two, the highest common factor there is 7, so it's 7 outside the brackets. In the brackets will remain with 3 minus 2x like this. Likewise, if we take out minus x here, our highest common factor, we remain with x minus 2x like this. Then if we take out 3 minus 2x, we remain with 7 minus x in the other brackets like this. So this is our final answer. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.